With my arrival at the junction was the convoy of the then military administrator of Lagos State on Oputa Marwa. And as soon as the convoy came, I heard a deadly and deafening sound of bomb explosion. Though the convoy of the administrator was targeted, I was thrown into the gutter with a deep cut on my scalp and was unconscious. The police later took me from the gutter, and instead of the hospital, I was taken to the cell undermining the blood. I eventually arrived at the General Hospital at about 5 p.m. to take responsibility of the cost of treatment. My Lord, I want to expatiate on this aspect. On that day, the 16th day of December 1996, I was about going to Allen Avenue. So when I got to the bus stop at Oputa Junction, as I was just coming there, I heard a siren. It was the convoy of the then military governor of Lagos State. So as I was just coming, the next thing I saw, about 2 of the vehicles had passed. The next thing I heard was a thunderous noise. In fact, I have never heard such a noise before. And that was all I knew. As I heard the noise, I went off. I didn't even know what happened. The next thing I saw was myself. I was inside the gutter. When I rose up my head, my body was already stained with blood. Then I saw armed policemen. So one just came in and said, "Rise." So when I rose from the gutter, I didn't know what was happening. Policemen were already at that point. I didn't know how long I stayed in that gutter, because at the time the explosion happened, till the time the police now came, I didn't really know how long I stayed. So when I came up, I saw people around, policemen and some other people lying down. So they ordered me out, and they laid me down beside some other people. Then blood was rushing from my head, and in fact my body was already soaked. What they did next was to take us to Area F at Ikeja. So when we got to Area F, they locked us in the cell. While I was still bleeding, they locked us up in the cell with 5 other people. So right in the cell there, I was bleeding. In the cellmate that we met there, they gave me a piece of cloth to soak the blood. So that one couldn't help. The blood was still rushing out. They poured kerosene on my head, thinking that one would stop the bleeding, but it didn't stop. So when they saw that the bleeding didn't stop, one man there just shouted that somebody in the cell is bleeding to death. So 5 minutes later, they opened the cell. When they opened the cell, I thought they had come. They were carrying me to the hospital. But no, they just said we should all go into the car. When we got there, they were taking us to Panti at Yaba. So right there, I was still bleeding. When we got to Panti, they said I should write statements. But I couldn't. How can I write a statement with blood everywhere? But they said I have to write. So I wrote a statement telling them that I didn't do anything. I don't know anything about what happened. After that, they brought me out. That was the first time I saw a gentleman in a suit, who I later know to be Bill, that is ACP Bill.
Ladies and gentlemen, please read Exhibit 5. Continue reading from the 3rd paragraph where you stop.
Please, sir, I want to make a little expansion so that you will understand.
After reading the exhibit, just go through and just add whatever you want to add.
Okay.
My relatives.
My relatives paid the hospital bill and bought all the prescribed drugs for the 2 weeks I was in the sick bed. During the 2 weeks I was in chain, and armed policemen were guarding me day and night. On the 30th day of December, I was discharged from the hospital. I was taken to the police cell at Alabon, where I was interrogated as the principal suspect. On the 1st of January 1997, AC Pisaka LBO and 4 other policemen, in trying to make me confess that I planted the bomb, tortured me, tied my legs and my hands like an animal, hanged me with an iron rod until I was unconscious. As a result of this torture, my hands and my legs were paralyzed for more than 3 months in the cell where I was dumped. So this aspect is not different from what other men like Adebusuyi explained. It was immediately after my torture that they brought Mr. Adebusuyi in. So it's exactly what he passed through. I passed through. So I don't want to look as if I'm repeating it. So on the 12th of March 1997, others who were also detained as bomb suspects were charged to court for treason. In the Guardian of Thursday, March 13, 1997, the police reported that I was charged along with others for treason, but my name was later struck off. And one Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, the police prosecutor, told the court that I had been released. My Lord, I joined this I attached this to my petition, the Guardian of 13th March 1997, where they told the world that I have been released. I also have a list here, oh Lord, my Lord. My Lord, I have a charge sheet here to show that I was really charged with orders to court. And I would like to tender it.
Please, there is a collection from you.
As at the time you were arrested, what were you doing? What was your job, your occupation?
Were you here when he read his petition?
Your occupation?
As I am an electrical engineer, but as at that time I was not working.
You had no job.
Yeah, I had no job at that time.
Yeah. Apart from the fact that you were